I'd like to report a body.
What do you mean a body?
A dead person.
Can you tell if it's a male or female or?
It's pretty badly burned.
On May 8, 2002, a frantic 911 call led police to a remote Michigan field where they discovered a burned metal footlocker containing an unrecognizable body. A man brutally beaten, stuffed inside the footlocker, and burned beyond recognition. The case lingered unsolved for over a decade until the truth finally surfaced, tracing back to a night 37-year-old Denine Ducharme could never escape.
You don't remember being down in the basement during the murder?
Hell no.
You remember maybe doing like a rehearsal the night before?
Oh, what?
Like a rehearsal?
Investigators later identified the victim as Denine's stepfather, Robert Caraballo, exposing a sinister conspiracy that refused to stay buried, with more than one person entangled in the crime.
Beverly starts to tell Denine, give me the hammer, give me the hammer. Denine takes the hammer and with her right hand wants to hit him a couple times. Hits him like 3 or 4 more times until the hammer was in his head.
In 2002, the McCallum family seemed like any other. Beverly, a young mother trying to rebuild her life after years of turbulence, her daughter, Denine, torn between loyalty and resentment, and Robert Caraballo, Beverly's longtime boyfriend, whose relationship with the family was growing increasingly volatile. Everything changed on May 8, 2002, when a farmer in Michigan found a burned metal footlocker in his field. Inside, a body so charred it was beyond recognition. Investigators quickly ruled it a homicide, but despite extensive forensic testing, the case went cold for more than a decade. Then, in 2015, while living in Texas, Denine watched a documentary titled Jack in the Box about the unsolved murder. The details hit too close to home. She contacted authorities, claiming the remains could be Robert's, her mother's boyfriend, who had mysteriously vanished years earlier. DNA testing confirmed it. Robert Caraballo had finally been identified, reopening a case long thought forgotten. As detectives began re-examining the evidence, their focus shifted towards those closest to Robert. The first major break came with the arrest of Christopher McMillan, one of Denine's closest friends. But his confession didn't close the investigation. It shattered its silence, pulling both Beverly and Denine into the dark heart of a conspiracy that refused to stay buried.
Yes, that's serious. So where's your partner Bill? And then Bill?
Bob retired.
Oh.
Bob left me on my own, so...
Did you get your new partner yet?
What's it? Well, he was from a different county, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Lansing area, and
Okay.
then he's from Grand Rapids area.
Grand Rapids,
so, because he's where
Y'all
it
just
was
got
found.
together because of the case.
Yeah, he's like where it was found, and I'm where it happened. So,
Gotcha.
But I'm done. My investigation is...
So what's going on now?
My investigation is over. I am done. I'm like, found out you were here. I was like, I'll stop and talk to her real quick. And
So you were just in Florida?
yeah,
And
Florida
you just found
and
out
Texas.
I was here?
And Texas.
Or
yeah.
you came because I was here?
No.
You just happened to be here. We're like, I know this person?
Yeah, I actually have to be in Texas too. And
Did you get
I'm on like a
far
little
along?
world tour this year. It seems like I've been going out of state all
Did you
the
make it
time.
to India yet?
No,
I heard that's where she's at. Somebody said she's in India.
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
She's in Pakistan. I know where she's
My
at.
sister posted it on Facebook. My middle
Which
sister.
one?
Tasha.
Tasha did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where she's at, but she probably thinks she's safe there too. But
The interview begins lightly, as Denine is already familiar with the detectives. What she isn't expecting is the reason she is being called back. Once again, she is subtly mocking her mother, Beverly. It is a solid defense mechanism for her. Yet, to understand the depth of this case, detectives traced its origins. Years earlier, Robert Caraballo and Beverly McCallum had moved in together, starting what seemed like a fresh chapter. Robert came from a troubled past, marked by instability and brushes with the law. A man searching for stability, yet vulnerable to manipulation. His union with Beverly appeared to offer change, but instead set the stage for one of America's most twisted homicides. The truth they're about to unveil will soon shatter her calm, though for now, she remains friendly and unaware of the storm heading her way.
And I found Chris.
Did you?
I found Chris, and
How's he doing? I'm just curious. He was a good guy.
he is a good guy. He's a really good, I like him. I got along
I
great
love
with
him.
him. He's a good
Secretly,
guy.
that's a guy I fell in love with, and my mom and everything.
He's a good egg. I like him, and yeah, I've talked to him quite a few times. Things aren't going the best for him, but that's what some stuff he told me that. Yeah, he shot me pretty straight. I know I did. I know he was. I know he was pretty honest with me.
Did he confirm things that I said?
Well, yeah, some stuff that he told me kind of confused me a little on some stuff, but yeah, I wanted to talk. I mean, I wanted to go over some stuff with you, but tell you some stuff. But before I do that, you're in custody. So before we get talking too much, you're in custody. I want to do things the right way. I'll tell you a few things because it kind of confused me. I think he'd been waiting for me kind of like for years. You know, he'd been waiting for that knock on the door to come and somebody to ask him about. And he after a few minutes of us talking, man, he just kind of unloaded everything on me. And I won't go into a lot of detail because that's what I'm talking. I don't want to tell you everything he said because I want to be fair to him. But I'll tell you a few things because it confused me. But yeah, he unloaded his whole story and confessed to being part of everything. And I could see after he did it, this like weight go off his shoulders. Seriously, I mean, it was like he was. I mean, you can see that when you do my job. You can see that a lot of times when people, you know, tell you the real story finally or come clean. It's like, they freaking. You almost see this thing come off them, and then they're like, "Good, it's over." You know, now I'll move forward. But that's kind of like I've never seen anybody happen more than it happened with him, and yeah, I felt bad for him because he seems like a good dude, and maybe got caught up in some stuff that wasn't his deal, but yeah, what he told me painted a pretty clear picture, and I've been looking into this case so long that I knew he was being honest with me because yeah, I mean, it matched everything that I already knew, so I knew he was being pretty honest with me. Yeah, he told me some stuff quite a few things I didn't know too, but the basic part of it was he got it off his shoulders, and I don't know, he's got to deal with it now. I mean, so I was just glad I found him.
Good.
What?
I was just worried that, you know, you wouldn't find him. The one thing like burned into my brain was the last time I seen you, you're like,
well, DNA? Wasn't it the last time?
I think so, but no, the thing you said was you better be thinking about what will prove that you didn't do it and your mom did or something like that, because that right there like burned in my brain, and I was like, oh my God, if you don't find Chris, like my mom is the type of evil that would totally manipulate it around the opposite way.
The sudden shift in Denine's demeanor is obvious. From the start, she is trying to pin everything on her mother, attempting to whitewash her own role and that of Chris. But a homicide this complicated is never going to be that simple. Detectives know that there are layers yet to be uncovered, so they are beginning to build pressure, watching closely to see if Denine will finally reveal the truth. What truly happened that night when Robert was brutally murdered?
Well, that's what I'm confused about. That's my biggest thing I'm confused about is why you told me that Chris even existed.
Because me and him were on the couch in the little room off to the side, and that would be the only person that confirmed that I didn't plan, plot, or have anything to do this. We were sitting in the room, and that was that. I mean, it all just came.
That's the problem.
Like, what the is going on? Like, wait, what just happened?
Well, that's why I asked you that, because he doesn't, don't get me wrong, like he's kind of like you are, like, oh, Chris was a good guy, but and he's like, same way about you, like, oh, I miss her and talk to her, and he like doesn't have like any hard feelings towards you, but I don't know how to explain it, but he's not like has any kind of hard feelings towards you or your mom, but he's not happy about the situation he got put into. That's how to describe it. It's weird. But that's not the story. I will say that I won't go into specifics. I'll give you a couple so you know I'm not. Yeah. Okay, but That's not the story he told, was the one you said about the couch thing sitting on there. It was quite a bit different story about all three of you. Kind of being more planned out what was going to happen to Roberto. And that's why I'm like, why did she? And it wasn't like he's like trying to throw everything on you or your mom, or he wasn't like that. That's why I kind of respected him. You know, it was like he just shot me straight, and but I'm like, why the hell did you tell me that he even existed? Because he buried himself. He told me the truth. I think it was the truth.
Well,
based on what I
plot
knew.
or plan to do anything to anybody, and he would be the only one that can confirm that we were sitting there playing the guitar, eating pills and smoking, when everything was just like, bam, what the happened? Wait, what?
That's what, like he, you mentioned about, like, you told me about cleaning up before, about your mom wanted to chip up the concrete and stuff.
She was just,
and he said the same thing.
so much, to be honest with you, like I keep telling you, like, I have spent years doing everything I possibly can to forget.
I believe that.
And not just that, with my injury, it's even more cloudy.
No matter how much Denine blames her memory loss on an accident to deflect suspicion, the truth about that night won't fade away. Detectives are uncovering not only Beverly, but also Denine and Chris at the center of the crime. Yet one question is haunting the investigators. Why did it take Denine more than a decade to accuse her mother?
It's just against everything.
Just like we said, though, you're not the type of person that's going to go out, I gotta worry about killing somebody every weekend for your kicks. It's just, welcome to my job, because 95% of the people I deal with
contact you,
are people that normally wouldn't do something they did, but because of circumstances or because of a lifestyle they're having right then, or just a situation they get thrown into. No, I'm serious. That's what happens to 95% of people.
Yeah. Well, my mother is not that breed.
Your mom is not that person.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, my mom is not that breed. My mom would do anything and everything and to anyone, no matter what it takes. And that is something I had to cope with, and maintain sanity behind my entire life. And even not being in this country, she finds ways to still me and over me, and she'll send out my sister after me, or, that's why we came here. It was like, it was non-stop. We couldn't get away from it. Then Tasha becomes vindictive. Oh, then she wants to set my car on fire, flatten all my tires. It's just a non-stop, constant. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you should try talking to your mother sometimes. And I was like, I have nothing to say to our mother. There's nothing I want to say to our mother. Why would I talk to her? Right. Cicely, same thing. Why don't you talk to mom? I was like, I don't want to talk to mom, Cicely. The only time you or Tasha should ever contact me is if you're contacting me to let me know my mother is dead. Other than that, I have nothing to say to y'all anymore. Nothing.
You don't talk to your mom. When's the last time you talked to your mom? Right after we were there?
Right after my grandmother passed, inside the mosque thing.
So you haven't talked to her since we first met?
Mm-mm. When I spit in her face at the mosque, that was the last time I talked to her. When she buried my grandmother, that was Catholic nun, in a Muslim cemetery next to Ahmed Abdul. You got a Mary Cross Maglicetti. Her middle name is Cross.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're not the only member of your family that feels that way.
She is supposed to be in the Hudson River with my grandfather. It was in her will since 1985.
Yep, I remember all that, and I just wonder if you'd just for any reason.
No, there is no reason. In fact, when I spoke to you guys and I was going through all that tizzy in Galveston, it was mainly because my mother had injected herself into my marriage. That's why I was in such a turmoil of chaos of what was going on between me and my husband. When y'all first seen y'all came and down there, right. And I was like packing and moving and all of that. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that is because my mother injected herself into our marriage, and ever since then it was like I spoke to y'all and it was like maybe, just maybe, I won't have to be haunted by her any longer.
Even as Denine tried to defend herself, one thing became clear. The darkness didn't begin with her. Beverly McCallum's past was steeped in violence and mystery. Beyond the religious conflicts that surrounded her life, there were secrets detectives couldn't ignore. During the investigation, her attorney revealed a chilling detail. Years earlier, while living in Jamaica, Beverly had married a man who vanished under suspicious circumstances. That haunting shadow from her past now loomed over everything, casting its darkness across this entire case.
And the man that she ended up marrying down there, his name was Riney. And she actually had known him for like over 20 years. All the kids called him Uncle Riney. And then mysteriously, they get a frantic call in Texas saying, hey, something happened. You need to get us back over the border. And nobody has heard from Riney since. He's still actively a missing person in Jamaica.
Although major suspicion is falling on Beverly when she abruptly leaves after hearing the case is being reopened, her past is painting an even darker picture. Years earlier, after marrying in Pakistan, she had tried to build a new life, but it was far from peaceful. Reports are suggesting constant turmoil, clashes in her relationship, and a growing distance from her family back home. This fractured life abroad is only deepening the mystery surrounding her, raising more questions than answers once detectives are re-examining her past. But for now, detectives are having their second card to track down the truth, which is about to change the entire game.
Unfortunately, that's
Or,
not the case
you know,
because I'm still here.
Or, well, I don't consider you a haunt. I consider
What's
you
that?
I don't consider you a haunt. I consider you more of
Well,
a path to, resolving this.
well, that's what I'm trying to do. I am, like I said, I'm not lying to you. I'm all done with my
Yes, sir.
with my
Yeah,
stuff.
totally
It's all
get it.
completely done, and that's what that was my biggest thing was didn't know why you gave me the information you did on Chris. Some of it wasn't right, but I don't know if that's because you were choosing for it not to be right, or if you were actually just mistaken because it's been so long.
I gave you everything I could as straight as I
give
could
you the benefit of
remember.
the doubt and say, yeah, it's been a while. It's probably nobody remembers everything, you know.
And honestly, I have done enough drugs and everything to
Mm-hmm.
attempt to forget all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my main goal,
Yep, and
is to black that out as fast as I could, if possible, which it's not possible.
no,
It's not possible, no matter
I
how
think
much you
Chris
do.
has tried to do the same stuff, try to block it, and the more we talk, the more stuff that he remembers, but yeah, a lot of this stuff doesn't look good for you. It doesn't shine a good light on you from what you told me the first time. It's more of a I do remember you saying something about, which I know is true, that Roberto, because when he got out of jail, he was reading his Bible all the time, and he had a real problem with your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so Chris had to act like he was your boyfriend and stuff, and so I know that was, and he didn't want you around much because of that. But and then your mom, she's got her own reasons for what she does, but and
So what is the end verdict of your case, or whatever?
well, that's what I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that you want to tell me that I've got wrong. Because Chris painted it was more of a plotted out kind of story that your mom kind of spearheaded and was very much not. Because when you told me the story, it was sounded like they were kind of arguing, and he went downstairs, and she just was flipping out, right? And
She had been flipping out for weeks.
Right.
I mean, I
well,
really
it sounds like she always
tried
flips
to
out.
avoid her.
And
And I was stuck there because I had broke my foot. There was nothing else I could really do but stay on the couch, hope I got better faster, and could get the out of there, back to work, and get the out of there.
well, that's what. And Chris doesn't remember you having a broken foot. He said he had one. He said he had an air cast on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he did have an air
So,
cast.
yeah. Just so you know, I actually talked to him. And I
No,
said,
no. I
So,
believe you.
But I could see it fall off a roof or something.
Yeah.
Remember?
St. John's Hospital has my medical records of it, though.
Okay. And you signed a waiver thing, a medical waiver thing for me, but I found him and thought you were mistaken, or I was, or something like that, because he had the cast on, he said. And like I said, I know how time goes by and people screw stuff up, but yeah, the story he told was more of a plotted out thing that you and your mom approached him with? Do you remember any reason though why
I never
you?
approached him with that. Never, not ever.
And I don't want to spoon feed you everything, but do you remember any reason you ever told him why maybe you or your mom, not counting that he didn't like your lifestyle, another reason why you guys would want Roberto out of there?
Chris is revealing that Robert is often clashing with Beverly over her lifestyle, a tension that may be fueling this brutal crime. But Denine's story is the opposite of what Chris told the detectives. According to her, Robert was a helpless victim of her mother's rage. Cicely, Robert's biological daughter, remembered the night very differently. She recalled being rushed into the van with Beverly, Denine, and her sister Tasha. At some point, she drifted off to sleep, only to be jolted awake by a massive explosion. By the next morning, she was told that Robert had left the family and moved to Canada, yet his car was still parked in the driveway. This inconsistency sparked serious suspicion. With Chris's testimony adding further weight, detectives were desperate for answers, and they knew only one person could finally reveal the truth.
He didn't help.
And that would
either.
be like a reason she could tell me, you know, if
Chris
she
said
was
he
trying
helped
to.
murder him.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
I'm like, I can't spoon feed you everything he said, but yes. Yeah. But
No, that's not how that happened. I mean, we're sitting on the couch in that room, and she came in there fucking just fucking wailing.
what? I mean, we were talking about the patch thing, the concrete patch.
I don't know anything about a concrete patch.
What's that?
I don't recall anything about a concrete
Well,
patch.
you had told me about a patch where, because your mom was trying to clean up so good that she was chipping up concrete in the basement.
I just don't remember.
But no, I mean, that was something you told me the first time we met. I think the first time we went down to Texas, you told me about that, and then I went back to the house, and sure enough, there's a concrete patch. But that, you know, Chris told me the same thing, but he said you laid the patch because you're really good at this stuff, and somebody else actually told me you're really good at like brickwork or mason.
Just tile before.
But I'm just telling you what I heard. I heard you're talented at that stuff. But he said that you did that patch in the basement. That was your work. He mixed it up for you, and you laid the patch.
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't even
But-
remember anything about a concrete patch, and I'm sorry.
Do you remember much of what you told me like
I
the
don't
first time
remember
we
even
met?
talking to you about a concrete patch. I'm sorry. It's probably part of my injury. Because I had
Which injury? The one with your
traumatic
leg?
brain injury, yeah. But I mean,
you remember us talking though. and
I do
stuff,
remember you
because
talking,
you remember
but
things
there's
being
just-
hectic at your house.
there's things that it's like even like words, stuff. It's kind of like your mind. You know, how you put things in order in your mind. The way, okay, so these are organized like in your brain. You kind of like when you think you can find it, you go back to a vision or image and you pull it up like that. Well, it's like it's there, but it's not in the right spot. Like you're like, I know this. That's I don't know how to explain it, but it's not there.
Kind of happens like that with concussions too. I've had really bad concussions.
It affects me with writing. I'm having issues with spelling things, sentences. I find a lot of loss of words,
Like
the
putting
right,
the right
word.
words to stuff?
Yeah, the right words
Yeah,
in the
I
right
gotcha.
sentence.
Yeah, that's what it's
Sometimes
like
I'm
then.
putting the wrong word, but there are memory losses and lapses, and that's gone on too from the accident. But that I don't recall. I honestly don't recall about it.
Because he had a pretty good memory about that stuff. He remembered actually a lot of really good things.
I don't remember talking to you about it. That's the weird thing.
Okay.
You're saying I told you about it, but I honestly don't recall.
Okay. Yeah, that's... I'm just saying he had a good memory about everything. About a lot of detail, and that's like I was telling you that time. The more detail you can give me, something I can go and back up. Where I believe you over if your mom
The
put
only
handcuffs
thing
on her.
and that's what I told you, like the only one that could possibly add any more detail would be Chris, and I would think that he would do it in my favor, but
He didn't.
I didn't.
He didn't do it in your favor. And like I said, it wasn't like a way of like he was trying to put everything on you or everything on your mind. It was just like he told the story and the cards fell where they fell. And a lot of it wasn't favorable for you. And I'm sitting there going, why did she give me Chris's name? I mean, because that kind of really ended up hurting you?
Well, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean,
Okay. I'm being honest
I've
with
just
you.
always been that way. I mean, that was all I could do. I gave you everything I could remember and all that I could in every way that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris was the only other thing that I could remember that maybe could possibly help you. I mean,
and, you know, it's someday you'll see the reports and stuff, I'm sure, because there's a lot of them that I did. That Chris isn't the only person that remembers stuff, and that when his memory, when he tells a story and it matches other people that he hasn't seen in years, and it matches their story to stuff they remember, then you got to give it some credibility, right? And that's kind of what happened here.
By now, every detail of that night is surfacing. No matter how hard Denine is trying to deflect with lies and excuses, detectives are ready. Wasting no time, they are delivering the final blow that is sealing her fate.
okay, so we're
He's not the only one that remembers stuff. So.
Well, I mean, I'm not by no means saying that, hey, I have a perfect freaking memory, but I'm definitely not a planned, plotted murderer either.
Okay. That's what I'm just, is there another reason why this stuff would have went down besides, like what I mentioned? If, and, you know, like with your mom, she kind of wanted to go back into she didn't like the life she was leading. You know, it sounded like she wanted to go back into the drug.
Who didn't?
Your mom, because she didn't have a lot of money. Robert's work at delivering papers and stuff like that, and always fighting with him, and so like she was too happy. It was time to move on, but I don't know.
The only thing, and I used to tell my mother, was that it was like she resented Robert for all the years she went to visit him in prison, and that was like she resented him for it. I don't.
So
I don't really know. I don't know. Like
you don't remember being down in the basement during the murder?
Hell no. Why would I call you and tell you?
People call me and tell me way worse stuff than that. I don't know why. I don't know why they do, but you don't remember being down there when it happened. You don't remember maybe doing like a rehearsal the night before?
Oh, what?
Like a rehearsal?
No.
Like your mom directing something? Like,
No
you
way.
should stand here. Chris, you should be there.
No
This
way.
is what I'll do.
No way.
What?
No way.
What, if your memory's kind of foggy, though, it might have happened.
There's no way I would even do that.
Why?
There's no way. Because it's not in my character. I would never do that.
I'm not saying it was your idea.
I would
That's
never
not what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
I would never even practice, play, rehearsal, joke, or f***ing kid about it. That's not my personality. No way in hell. Never.
So if
Never.
if your mom wanted to do
Never. Never. Never, never, never. I would leave.
that, you would leave.
I would leave. I would leave out into the street. I would call somebody, another family member or something. I would leave before I got rehearsed and plotted and planned into something like that. There's no way.
You wouldn't go with your mom on that. Yeah.
There is no way. No way.
And do you remember anything about like your guys' long drive over to get rid of Roberto's body?
I've told y'all everything I remember.
And I'm just trying to jar your memory loose because I did, you know, that's what I do with some people. I'm like, remember, I don't like spoon feeding people or giving them info, but
everything I can remember, I have honestly told you. You guys have asked me, and I've told you.
and that's what we do. We'll ask the same questions over and over again, hoping that something jars, something loose, and it does a lot, and that's why I do that. But you remember like your mom bringing anything on that long trip, like cleanup supplies or anything like that?
No,
No? Gloves? Remember
I can't
gloves?
remember.
Okay.
When Denine realizes the walls are closing in, her demeanor shifts completely. To the detectives, that change is the clearest sign. But these aren't their own words, and silence is screaming louder than anything else. Hoping to reduce his sentence, McMillan signed a plea deal and admitted the murder was premeditated, even well-rehearsed in a test run. His testimony gave detectives a chilling look at who carried out the brutal act and why. But then, Denine made her final move, a desperate twist the detectives recognized instantly, one that hinted she was hiding far more than she'd ever confessed.
I'm asking you to remember, but I know you don't want to remember
I really can't.
because it sucks. I can tell Chris didn't want to remember too because it sucks. It really does.
I really can't.
You remember? What do you remember of the night there in the basement? What do you remember of that?
I remember coming down the stairs. I remember screaming at my mom.
What are you screaming at her about?
I don't even remember. I just remember yelling at her and asking her if she was f***ing crazy. Screaming, are you f***ing crazy? What is wrong with you? And just keep screaming at her and just kept screaming at her.
And you remember what you saw down there though?
I just remember seeing blood on the floor. The bottom of the stairs. I'm
As far as you know, your mom held on to
I'm
that
really
till she took
sorry.
it.
I'm really sorry. I can't remember, and I really want to.
I know you don't want to.
No, I do. I want to. It's just not there. The data's not there.
Because, like, you know, I told you before, it's like, that's what I have to do is when somebody tells their story, I usually by the time I talk to them, I know, even if I play dumb, I'm not quite as dumb as I act, but I know the answers to a lot of the questions I ask, you know. And the questions
I
I've
definitely
asked,
did. I mean, I'm fucked up that I guess you think that or that you believe that I plotted, planned, rehearsed, and all this stuff.
well,
There's really
and that's another reason is people got reasons for everything, and there's reasons for everything. So, and I know that. I don't.
that is not something that I would do. It's just.
It looks like you were part of this, though, Denine, and that's why I'm. Okay, you're part of this, then you're part of this, but why? That was the other big question. It was like, was it just because your mom's an influence, or because Roberto didn't like your lifestyle? I mean, I don't know. Just looking at that concrete patch there, do you remember any of that now? About laying that patch for your mom?
I don't recall laying a patch.
I don't remember anything of that, like Chris mixing it up for you, and you.
No, I really don't.
If I told you your DNA was in that patch, you know, when you're doing something like that, you sweat, and it's so sensitive now. They're testing now, it's so sensitive. But if I told you that your DNA was in there, would that surprise you?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Okay. Well, looks like yours is in there. Because that's definitely all, obviously the crime lab's in there, they're right there, but yeah, they found all kinds of stuff in there. So.
Yeah.
There's no way out now. And finally, Chris revealed the gruesome details that sent shockwaves through the entire community.
And Beverly starts to tell Denine, give me the hammer, give me the hammer. Well, Denine takes the hammer and with her right hand wants to hit him a couple times on the left side of his head. Beverly jerks the hammer away and with her left hand on the left side of the head hits him like 3 or 4 more times until the hammer was in his head.
No matter how hard Denine tried to hide the truth, detectives brought out the final piece of evidence, a shocking proof that crushes every excuse she has.
And we kind of got stuck here. We ran out of funds here.
Gotcha.
We were trying to get closer to Orlando area, Hollywood, like that out down south more.
Oh, okay.
Down south more, Florida.
Yeah, there's probably other areas you could be then.
Yeah, we ran out of funds here,
It's
so.
kind of, Jacksonville's a rough town.
Yeah,
It's
I heard.
dangerous. It's a dangerous town. Dangerous, but I don't know. Reminds me of Columbus, Ohio, if you've ever been there. But yeah, so like I said, I'm done with my investigation, and I submitted it to the prosecutor, and he gave his answer was 3 warrants for Chris, you, and your mom. It was based off everything I gave him, and that was a lot of stuff he had to go through. So a lot of people did a lot of work on this.
Chris was charged with murder too?
Yes. Yes, he is. And he's... Yeah, and that was another thing I was going to say to you. If there's some reason why, you know, you know why he helped or why. I don't want to see anybody take any unnecessary blame either. Definitely.
I know you probably think I'm a lie, but I swear to God, I've given you all I can remember.
I think you're still holding back some stuff because it doesn't make you look good.
No matter how hard Denine tried to hide the truth, detectives brought out the final piece of evidence, a shocking proof that crushes every excuse she has.
But I also think
What
people
doesn't-
got.
What else
Well, I think the
did
truth
not
doesn't look
good?
favorable. The truth.
The truth already is not favorable. I mean, what I've given you is not favorable. So
Well, it's even worse. I'm just telling you what I think. Okay, that's just what I think. But I just think, the full truth is even less favorable. It doesn't make you look good, and it doesn't make you look good when you.
how does trial and all that stuff work?
Oh gosh, that's
Like when do you get? Is Chris already gone to trial, or do we all have to be there?
It'll probably be separate. Everything will be
Each
separate.
individual will be separate.
Yeah. But yeah, Chris is already in our jail. Actually, the highlighted stuff is, or most of the highlighted stuff is the charges. The actual charge, you got 3 charges. All relating from the same thing.
Oh my God. I think I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't get more serious than that. So at some point, you're gonna have to be shipped up there.
Wow.
Nothing's over till it's over. Okay.
Pray that the truth comes out and my mom finally gets what she deserves. And me and Chris don't
Right.
suffer this.
With DNA evidence in hand, everything finally fell into place. That night began with an argument in the basement, tension boiling between Robert and Beverly over her lifestyle and control. As the shouting escalated, Beverly struck first, luring him deeper into the basement where Denine and Christopher were waiting. McMillan later revealed it had all been planned, even rehearsed. Beverly pushed Robert, hitting him with a hammer that lodged into his skull, while Denine and McMillan held a plastic bag over his head until he stopped struggling. Once he was dead, they stuffed his body into a metal footlocker, drove it to a remote blueberry field, and set it on fire in an attempt to erase every trace. Armed with Christopher McMillan's confession and supporting forensic evidence, investigators finally built an airtight case against Beverly McCallum. After fleeing the U.S., she was tracked down in Rome, Italy in February of 2020, arrested, and extradited 2 years later. During the trial, prosecutors detailed how Beverly masterminded the brutal killing of Robert Caraballo with her daughter Denine and Christopher McMillan, despite the defense's attempt to downplay her role. Witness testimonies from Cicely and McMillan exposed the truth. On April 21, 2024, Beverly was found guilty of second-degree murder and mutilation of a body. She was sentenced to 40 to 60 years for murder and 10 to 15 years for mutilation, to run concurrently with credit for time served in Italy.